Hey! It works. Let's do it. What's up, everybody? Classic YouTube. Okay, it's your favorite, most awesome, handsomest coach, Coach Rigo from Team Galo Jiu-Jitsu, and his lovely assistant, Instructor Nikki. Coach Nikki now. It's not your coaching. Yeah. Technically. We'll talk about it. Today, we are going to talk about the Jean-Jacques hook, or the modified back mount. I hate that name. It's one of those things, it's my own problem. Anyway, we are going to talk about strong side versus weak side and a belly down thing, just for your viewing pleasure. This is something that you can do with a dummy or a live person. I recommend live people just because dummies suck sometimes, but it is what it is. You got what you got. Yeah. Makes sense? All right, cut. There we go. Okay, so with your partner and or dummy, yeah, we're both. We're gonna talk about back take over here, okay? Back mount with the hooks in, okay? Now we're gonna talk about strong side versus weak side, and a lot of people don't know what the heck that even is. So this is what it is, okay? The strong side is always gonna be the arm that's over top of the shoulder, okay? This arm that's going under the armpit, that's your weak side. And we're talking about the reason why the strong side is because that's your choking arm. I can't choke her like this. That's crazy. We gotta go around the neck, okay, for that choke, okay? So, we're gonna talk about rolling over to the strong side. A lot of times you're not gonna be able to choose sometimes. It's just frantic and the waters get muddy and then you just end up in a position sometimes. Unless you're awesome, like Instructor Nikki, it gets to choose. So let's say she chooses and we're off to the strong side. Now, the strong side right here is like the easy choke side. But what we're gonna do right now, we're just gonna talk about the top pressure control, which is the top leg. So the leg that's on the top, which is easy to see because it's the one on the top, that can either go on the hip or to the other leg, okay? Without crossing your feet, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I just wanna get right to this hip. Now, a lot of people are just like, oh, why don't you just do the hook? The hook's fine, that works good. But because I have the strong side, she's basically not gonna be going anywhere, okay? This right here just keeps her low. Because if anything's worse, if she gets higher and higher on me, I start to lose the hooks and everything like that, and everything just falls apart, and it's hell, okay? We don't want that. When you get to that strong side, this foot on the hip can actually push her low. So if she starts creeping up high, I can actually keep this foot on her hip, pushing low. And if I need to, I can re-hook low. A lot of guys are like, just put your hooks in, you'll be fine. But there's always more. There's always more, okay? So that's gonna be your first thing to do, okay? Top pressure. Now, let's talk about crossing your ankles, I just mentioned it. Never do this, because I still gotta get a bell, Nikki, because I gotta get, like, the shame.
bell.
Shame. But what we're talking about here, I'm gonna sit you up for a second. What we're talking about here is, with white belts, I never shame them. But blue belt and above, oh, I'll shame you. Okay, as soon as you do this, okay, this is no bueno. Okay, you see what she's doing there? She's locking her legs in, and as she goes, yeah. Basically, it's an ankle lock. So a lot of times people will freak out. They'll go to the strong side. They'll forget everything the coaches are saying, and they're gonna do whatever they do. And this is what's gonna happen here. I've seen so many people lose this way, and as she starts to straighten out, it's just pain. Oh, God, terrible. Terrible pain, okay? Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, I don't know how many times I gotta say it. Don't do it, okay? You're never gonna have to cross your feet in a back take scenario, okay? Never, okay? Unless you're awesome. But you're not there yet. We'll get there, but you're not there yet. Okay, so right now we're gonna talk about the modified back take, or what I like is the Jean-Jacques. So what is that? The modified, let's say we're here, got my top pressure. Modified is if, let's say she kicks this leg right out, boom, pushes it out, okay? Now, if I leave her, she just basically gets to her knees, I end up in a nice half guard, and I basically lost my whole position right there, which is no good. The modified is basically relocking my foot right behind her butt here. That's your modified back take. But why take it to that position, okay? What if we do the Jean-Jacques style? The Jean-Jacques is basically a deeper lock, and this is just a modified back take, right? This works, it's fine, but what is better is the knee in the butt and then re-locking into that nice triangle. From here, it's a really good pressure because I can start to straighten her out, and it's gonna cause a lot of stress across that spine. It's not a spine lock, but it's making it so the head starts to lift up higher and higher. I really like this lock, okay? I like to tuck this leg in right behind me, very, very tight, okay? That's what I like. If you guys can't, you're with a bigger partner, this is also acceptable, but watch out, because what am I doing? I'm crossing my feet, okay? So you always gotta watch out for this kind of stuff, because she can always try to untangle, wrap, move around, do something like that, okay? So I like doing the John Jacks, because her chances of rolling and things like that is dramatically reduced, okay? So, with your partner or your dummy, you can practice that, okay? Now let's talk about the re-hook, okay? Or actually, you know what? Let's back up a sec. We're gonna go with the John Jacks, the rollover, okay? What I mean by that is that we go up to the strong side, boop, okay? She goes to release that foot, I do the John Jacks hook, boom, nice and tight, okay? But let's say she's way stronger than me. She starts to push over to the other side. If I keep that John Jacks hooked in, I have no control. She's onto my weak side. Let's turn this way. Scooch. Because I'm on my weak side, where I'm on the armpit side here, that's your weak side, I have my John Jacks hook in, but it's gonna be very easy for her to start letting her head right down to the mat and start turning towards me. Boom. And we're back into that half guard situation with my John Jacks hook still in. Now, to avoid that, we gotta do a re-hook, okay? So with your partner or dummy, you can move off to the strong side. You kick your leg out, I hook up that John Jacks. As she starts to push off, I release the John Jacks and put the hook back in. When you go off to the other side, I can re-hook a nice John Jacks right in here. Keeping that weak side pressure. She comes back, I open, and relock. This is a nice little drill that you can do with your partner, dummy, nobody, a chair, ironing board, whatever you got. Okay guys, so take a minute, drill it out. I always drill everything about 10-15 minutes. How long do you drill stuff for?
Same.
Commercial. Action. Okay, so we talked about the strong side. Now we're gonna talk about your wimpy side that no one likes, right? I actually like the wimpy side. Weak side, wimpy side, whatever you want to call it. Now we talked about why someone would push over to the other side, right? We're on that strong side. Why we talk about why someone would go over to the weak side. It's easier for them to escape, right? Less control on the upper body, things like that. We can talk all day about it, but I don't want to. So what we're gonna get into is that top leg pressure. We talked a little bit about it from here, from the strong side and putting my foot on the hip, okay? Now let's talk about like why someone would do that is because it just keeps them nice and low. You know, even if I do have a choke in, it's gonna help bring it even lower so I can really cinch it in. I can use that foot as an extra lever, as you can say. But on the weak side, that's where things get a little bit more interesting. I'm just gonna turn you. Yeah, you got it. So as we go to the weak side, boom, that top leg pressure can still be working for us. Now, because we have the weak side, I automatically have an underhook. Okay? Now, can I still choke with this top arm? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things in jiu-jitsu you can do. You can just force things, right? Like you can open a door with your hands or you can boot it in. You know, you still open the door, but it's just the way you do it. Okay? Now, does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So anyway, we have an underhook here, right? This is all about finesse, eventually. I mean, you can always boot down the door, but you want to do it the easiest way possible, right? So, with this top leg pressure, that's keeping her basically hip down and stopping her leg from basically coming over, right? It's kind of keeping it low. This arm right here is basically an underhook. Now, I'm going to want to basically hook that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to push low on the hip. My hand's going to come out, that strong side arm is going to come out, and I'm going to put my hand right on her ear, and I'm going to start pushing low. Once that happens, this bottom leg is going to come up nice and high as you can get it. just right here. If they try to toe hold it, they're not gonna really get it. I mean, there's possibilities there, like I said about the door, but it's rare. Anyway, we're gonna push the head, and then as I go, and you can usually roll to your back to get this, but I'm just gonna show you for camera purposes, is I'm gonna push the head, and then the whole leg gets off that top leg pressure and goes all the way around to here. From here, I can roll to my back and start attacking that arm, or that arm bar. Now, if I'm pushing the head and they feel it coming and they start doing this, they start blocking it, 9 times out of 10, my leg is gonna win. Because all I gotta do is just find the angle, right? We can start break dancing this thing all the way to the armpit. See how deep that is? Now we can really start forcing this arm. This is a whole nother story. We'll talk about breaking grips and things like that. But basically, I want you to get to this position. Now with a dummy, they're not going to be holding onto their hands or defending or anything like that. It's basically you're fighting a dead body, but you can still drill this scenario, okay? This is a nice little tip for guys who can't get the choke, they're on the weak side, don't know what to do. You know, they can start fighting this stuff, and there's always that weak side, you know, pulling the arm out and then doing the head in the bucket and things like that. But from here, just keeping strong, pulling the arm out, pushing the head, this weak side hand will automatically just kind of come to that armpit. And as I push, leg comes all the way over, then you can rotate to a sitting position where you can start working on dismantling the grips. Okay? That's a good little transition for that John Jacks or whatever you got going on there. Okay? Can you still do it from a John Jacks? Yeah, sure. You're just kind of going back and forth. You know what I mean? If we're on that weak side, you know, she kicked over, I get that John Jacks just for control, right? Something's not working here, she's starting to get tired, she's getting defensive, and start getting that foot back up to the hip, pushing low, hand on the face, leg comes over, you get the gist. Now let's talk about what happens when you go belly down, okay? Let's show you this way. So, it's not they go belly down, you almost force it yourself. So let's say we go up to the strong side. You can do it either side, it doesn't really matter. If we go up to the strong side, a lot of the times they feel that roll. It's not done from a seated position, like it's very rare that you're gonna start with your partner like this. It's usually you're already on the weak side, they start rotating, and then they kick leg over, there. Okay? Now if left unchecked, they basically get to the knees, Bob's your uncle. Now, at that moment, you're gonna have to react. So let's say we're on the weak side, they roll over. I wanna chase over. I wanna kick all the way over to the point where they're basically in a turtle position. And now from here, because it's an odd turtle position where they're kind of stretched out already, and I already have one hook in, I already inserted the second hook, I just start to hip down, lifting her legs and hipping through. This can be painful. I tap guys out from here just from the pressure. Okay? Now, Hickson Gracie used to love something like this. If you ever saw his old fights back in the day, he'd love to get a guy pinned here, pull out his arms, give him a couple knocks, and fish his hand in for a nice choke. Okay? This position is disastrous if you ever find yourself into MMA, Jiu-Jitsu, I don't know, cuddle fighting at home, I don't know. But don't let it happen to you, okay? Just if you're ever gonna do a high step like that, just watch out for that roll, because it's gonna happen. You ever think you wanna put in?
Not particularly.
All right, that concludes. May the 4th be with you and all that jazz. Stay fit and have fun. Body break styles. All right, see you next time. Click.